All right, this is section 10 of Cicero's Pro Caelio. He's getting to the part where he has to talk about Catiline. It's unavoidable. Catiline is Cicero's sworn enemy. Cicero has basically staked his entire career as the savior of the country against Catiline, and so uh, when he's defending a client who it's pretty well known was an ally of Catiline's, it puts him in an interesting position, and so he has to treat this very carefully, and as we'll see, probably not very truthfully, but he's doing what he has to do for his client. So here we go. We've got the nam quod and then objecta est, which we've seen before. This objecta est, basically, it has been raised. So the nam quod, as for the fact that Catiline's familiarity or relationship with or friendship with Catiline's familiarity to Caelius has been raised. So as for the fact that this has been brought up, Caelius ought to be far from, so be far free from or of that suspicion. And there are other very sort of more neutral words for to be free from. But abhorreo is a very visual word. It's sort of to shrink back from, to shudder away from. And so you can almost imagine Cicero acting that out as he says abhorrere debet. Indeed, hoc adolescente, so with this man as a young man, so with him as a young man, and throughout the speech, really, anytime we're talking about hic haec hoc, that personal pronoun frame of reference, we're talking about this man, my client, Caelius. And that's opposed to ille, that guy, the guy on the other side. We're talking about Catiline here. So indeed, with this man as a young man, so with him as a young man, you know that Catiline sought the consulship with me. So you know that my client was just a young boy when Catiline sought the consulship. Ad quem, and so this connecting relative, it's kind of like we're saying et ad eum. And if he literally came to him, and if he approached him, or probably what sounds better is if he came to his side, or if he ever left my side, if he ever departed from me. Although many good young men were eager for, or here maybe supported that man, illi homini, and that man is described as nequam atque improbos. This whole thing describes Catiline. And nequam is indeclinable, which is why it doesn't look dative like all of the rest of these. So to that worthless and immoral man. So let's go back here. So you know that my client was just a boy when Catiline sought the consulship with me. And if my client, if Caelius, ever came over to his side, and if he ever left my side, although many young men were eager to do that, many young men supported Catiline, then Caelius, or let Caelius be considered, or let him be thought to have been too familiar with Catiline. So a couple things here. This is from existimare, the first conjugation verb. This E tells you it's present subjunctive, and it's the main verb. So we have adjussive, right? So not he is thought, but let him be thought. And then Caelius here is the subject. So let him be thought, let him be considered that he was, or to have been, literally too much of a familiar, too much of an acquaintance or of a friend to Catiline. So, if he ever went over to his side and if he ever left my side, well, let it be known that he was too familiar with them. None of that matters. He was just a boy. But indeed, we know later, and we have seen that this man, and again, this is Caelius here, Hick, was in amicis ilias, was literally among the friends of Caelius. Who denies this? And he doesn't even put this in the subjunctive, not who would deny, but who does actually deny this. But I, and we don't get a verb here until defendo. So we get but I, and then we get that time of life, which blah, 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 I defend, right? So, but I defend that time of life, which itself, of its own accord, is infirmum, is vulnerable. And then we're missing an et here with infestum, and is threatened by the libido, by the desire of other men. And then the id here just relates back to the illud tempus, because it's been quite a while in the sentence since we've seen illud tempus. And then a hoc loco means in this place. And so literally in this part of my speech, I defend that time of life when a boy is just vulnerable to the desires of other men.